Wow, you guys really like the Canon M50, but I can't blame you because it's an awesome little camera and I get so many requests to do more Canon M50 videos, so here we go. And before we get into the more creative side of shooting, first my 5 favorite video accessories for next level filmmaking. Okay guys, and just so you know, all these accessories are super cheap, but they'll drastically improve your filmmaking experience with the Canon M50. I use most of these items almost every day, so at least for me, they're not just fun accessories, they're tools. But even if you don't need them, sometimes it's just fun to buy something and take your filmmaking to the next level, you know? And you don't need expensive stuff to do that. You can find all the items in the description, and if you have any questions, just ask me in the comments. Okay, here we go. Let's start with the expensive one to get it out of the way. The Rode VideoMic Pro Plus. It's a great microphone, but there are a few buts. So I bought it last year when I was still traveling full time, and for that it's a great microphone. So if you need a microphone for vlogs or one that you can take with you whenever you want, a very portable, easy to use microphone, then it's perfect. I had absolutely no complaints when I was on the road making vlogs and videos. But the problem is right here in my studio. Not a big problem, just a little one. At the moment, I'm using the VideoMic Pro Plus on a C-stand with a boom arm to record the sound for these videos. And it does sound really good when you put it as close as you can, as you would do with any microphone. It's right here. Can you see it? There. But the problem is that no matter what settings I use, sometimes it tends to clip certain sounds. And I don't know, is it me? Is it the settings? Is it the microphone? No idea. So if you know, please let me know in the comments. It's just really difficult to find the right distance for the best possible sound, but that's just a minor complaint because the sound is really good. And I can use this microphone here as a studio mic, and I can take it out on my Canon M50 anytime I want. But if you want perfect crisp studio sound and you don't need a vlogging microphone, a portable microphone, then I wouldn't go for this one. I would go for a proper studio microphone. Now, that being said, it is really good. It's super easy to use, the battery lasts long, it's rechargeable, and on the back are all the buttons and the LEDs. The on and off button, there's the high pass filter, the output gain control. Oh, and the best part, it turns off automatically every time you turn off the camera or when the camera goes to sleep. And these are the settings that I use here in the studio. So no high pass filter, and I set the gain to plus 20 dB on the microphone, and on my Canon M50 I go to sound recording, set it to manual and set it to 1, the recording level. So I go all the way to the left to 0 and then plus 1 because I want to use the camera's amplifier as little as possible. And the results are usually really good. Sometimes there's a little bit more background noise, I think the fan from my Godox light or some outside noise, but you can't really hear it when I talk, so it doesn't bother me. Overall, not perfect, but a really good all-round microphone. Okay, now the fun stuff. So gimbal or stabilizer? It's a question I get a lot, and it actually depends on what you need it for and what your style is. They're different tools. If you want to vlog and film yourself, then a gimbal is what you need, but for filmmaking, you can use both. I find the Glidecam or stabilizer, like this, a bit more versatile. You can use the same one with different size cameras. I mean, I've used mine with both my Canon M50 and my Pentax 645Z, and that's a super heavy camera. I wouldn't recommend it for your arm's sake, but it is possible, and there's also a difference in look. A gimbal will give you a super smooth, almost surgical look, and there's no learning curve. The gimbal will do all the work for you. If you use a stabilizer or a Glidecam, you're gonna have to practice a little bit, and there's always gonna be a slight movement. Not a shake, but it's not super smooth like a gimbal. But that's also what I like about it, because it looks a bit more organic. Is that the right word? I don't know, but you know what I mean, right? And a Glidecam or stabilizer is a lot cheaper than a gimbal. I picked this one up for just $100 and it's a lot of fun. Next up, a bit boring maybe, but super useful, a C-stand with boom arm thingy. I use mine to hold a microphone, different types of lights, but also my Canon M50 for tabletop shots. It's super easy to use, and it comes with this thingy that fits both in lights and microphones and of course cameras. And on the back is the counterweight to hold the arm up. Super simple, super cheap, but you can use it for so many different things. Now, I have to be honest, my C-stand feels really sturdy and strong, but if you need one that you're gonna break down and build up every day, then I would go for something more expensive. This one feels heavy and strong, but it's here and it will stay here, and I'm sure it will last a lifetime, but I'm not breaking it down every day. So that's something to think about if you want to buy one. What do you need it for? And I'll link some more high-end options in the description too. If you've watched my video on 2 cinematic upgrades for the Canon M50, then you know about these. They're useful for both video and filmmaking and photography. I use them mainly for my videos. So the problem is that when I take my Canon M50 outside on a sunny day, I have to close the aperture usually all the way to f/22. Otherwise my footage is overexposed. And it's not a Canon M50 problem, by the way, it's just the same for every camera. Of course, f/22 makes me lose that nice shallow depth of field, and as a result also the more cinematic look. An ND filter will solve that problem because they reduce the amount of light coming in. That means that even on a super sunny day, I can open the aperture on my 22mm f2 all the way to f2 to get that nice shallow depth of field. Now, there are two options. I have this ND filter, and this one reduces the amount of light by 10 stops, fixed number. It's useful on a very sunny day, but as soon as the sun goes behind a cloud, for example, it's already too dark and your footage will be underexposed. So I would recommend one of these, and this is a variable ND filter. And with this one, I can choose by how many stops I want to reduce the light. Anything from 1 to 10 stops. I can use this one on a bright day, on a cloudy day, but also in the evening when the sun sets, for example. It's the better choice. And finally, light, and there are so many possibilities. First of all, I have my main light here, the Godox SL60W, and that's a great light. Just check out my review video, I'll link it at the top of the video here, but maybe for a lot of you, that's too much. So I have two even cheaper and smaller options that I also use a lot. First of all, this newer LED panel. This is the light that I used to light myself in my first YouTube videos, and it does a pretty good job. Of course, the light is not as nice and soft as what I get from this big softbox over here, but as a first light or something more portable, it's really good. And right now, I'm still using it as a backlight to light this side of my face. You can set the power and the white balance, from warm and yellow to cool and white. It does come with a built-in battery, but not a power supply, so you'll have to buy the power supply separately. And I also bought this cute little stand for it. Okay, so that's a really nice light, but no color. So what if you want color? Then you need an RGB light. I bought this one from Andy Cine and it's great. I use it in every video. First of all, you can see it here lighting the background, but I also use it to shoot B-roll and product photography, for example. Adding a little bit of color really brings your footage to life. You can emphasize colors or you can add colors. And of course, you can also set it to just white light. Put it on your Canon M50 like this and you can take it with you for a night shoot. A lot of possibilities. And that's it, guys. 5 video accessories for your Canon M50. I use them almost every day and they add so much more possibilities. It'll take your filmmaking experience with the Canon M50 to the next level. And it's also just a lot of fun, you know, and in the end, that's what it's all about. Thank you so much for watching and see you in the next one.